Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Nitai Gaur Hari Bo, Hari Bo, Hari Bo, Nitai Gaur Hari Bo. Jai Jai Prabhupada, 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 Jai Srila Prabhupada. Gaur Premanande. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskrityam Naram Chaiva Narottamam Daivim Sarasatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudirayat Nastapraeshu Vabhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhakti Bhavati Naishtaki. So I think everyone knows that day after tomorrow we celebrate the auspicious appearance of Lord Nrsimha. So today I wanted to begin some introduction to this pastime of the appearance of Lord Nrsimha. Of course, the main section of Srimad Bhagavad, the main section on Lord Nrsimha comes in the 7th canto of the Srimad Bhagavatam. So 7th canto begins, the first chapter is a discussion about the Lord's, how he's equal to everyone. The chapter actually begins with a question by Maharaja Parikshit. Maharaj Parikshit wants to understand if the Lord is actually partial to some people. Is he actually impartial? So this is a discussion of the first chapter of the 7th canto. Sukadeva Goswami replies to this question, this very relevant question, because Earlier, it had been described how Lord Vishnu had killed demons like Hiranyakashipu. And the situation is there also at the end of the 6th canto. We have Diti wanting to kill Indra. Of course, the chapter described how Diti was engaged by Kashyap in devotional service. And by her devotional service, the child, which she conceived in the womb, instead of killing Indra, became the brothers of Indra. They became the Maruts, the 49 Maruts. Anyway, Parikshit Maharaj wanted to understand. He had this, some doubt. And certainly, it's understandable there would be some doubt. Is the Lord really equal to everyone? Well, of course, we know in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says, Samoham sarva bhuteshu name dveshosti napriya. I envy no one, I'm equal to all. But still, whoever renders service to me, he is a friend, he is in me, and I am in him. And so, there's some indication there about the Lord's particular nature, how he is inclined towards the devotees. At the same time, he's equal to everyone. And Sukadeva Goswami goes on to discuss that impartiality of the Lord. And he explains that actually it's not the Lord who's partial, but what's happening is everyone is getting the results according to their association with the modes of nature. The demigods are in the mode of goodness, and those who are demons, they're more in the mode of passion. And the Rakshasas and Yakshas, they're in the mode of ignorance. And so they get results through the modes of nature, how they associate with the material nature. It's not the Lord who's responsible, it's not his partiality. Lord Krishna is equal to everyone. He gives everyone an opportunity to become his devotee. Samoham sarva bhuteshu. Krishna said, I'm equal to everyone. And Sukadeva Goswami gives some examples also. He narrates about how Maharaj Yudhisthira was surprised because Maharaj Yudhisthira saw with the death of Shishupal how the soul of Shishupal entered into the body of Lord Vishnu, into the body of Lord Krishna. As when Lord Krishna, at the time of the Rajasuya Yagna, Shishupal had been very insulting. Lord Krishna threw the Sudarshan Chakra, and the head of Shishupal was decapitated. At that time, the soul, everyone could see the soul of Shishupal enter into the body of Lord Krishna. And Maharaj Yudhisthira was surprised because Shishupal had been so demoniac. He had constantly blasphemed Krishna from his very birth, throughout his childhood, throughout his life. He had blasphemed Lord Krishna. But he had achieved such a glorious destination. So Maharaj Yudhisthira, he was surprised. And Narada Muni explained to him that this is the impartiality of the Lord, that he is kind to everyone. He gives everyone an opportunity to become to come closer to Him. Anyone who has any connection with the Lord, they become purified. Even the demons become purified because they're connecting with the Supreme Lord and in contact with the Lord, even though they're inimical, although they're envious and they're critical, but they become purified because somehow they're connected to the Supreme Lord. And that is Krishna's impartiality. That is His kindness to everyone. So this is very wonderful how the Lord is impartial to everyone. Indeed, the Lord, we have to understand that the Lord has a transcendental body. No one is His friend, no one is His enemy. He sees He is transcendental. So He does not make distinctions, because we fear people, because we want people to help us. If somebody doesn't help us, we think they're our enemy. And someone helps us, he's my friend, like that. But Krishna is Atmarama. The Lord is Atmarama. He doesn't need anything from anyone. Everyone is equal to Him. He doesn't need help, and He's not afraid of anyone. In the Bhagavad Gita, of course, Krishna says if someone offers patram pushpam phalam toyam, if you offer something like a leaf, a flower, fruit or water with love and devotion, then I will accept it. And Lord Krishna is not in need of these things, but He wants the love. He wants that bhakti. That is the important thing. And we see in the case of the demons, they don't have bhakti, but somehow the demons, because they're associating with the Lord, they also benefit. If they're just like Sishupala and his brother Dantavakra, Sishupala and Dantavakra, both sons of Damagosh. So they were enemies of Lord Krishna, and they were envious and they were always critical, but they greatly benefited that when they died they were liberated because they had been associating with the Lord, with His holy name. So in this way, Srimad Bhagavatam describes the impartiality of Lord Krishna. And then in the next chapter, we begin to hear about Hiranyakashipu. Because we've already heard, it's already been told about Hiranyaksha, how he had been killed by Lord Varaha. Now with the death of Hiranyaksha, the family members were aggrieved, particularly the mother of Hiranyakashipu and Hiranyaksha, means Diti, one of the wives of Kashyap. And then also Hiranyaksha also had a wife, can't remember her name. Anyway, he had a wife, and naturally the mother and the wife, they're both grieving the loss of Hiranyaksha. And what happens, Srimad Bhagavatam describes how Hiranyakashipu, the brother, he comes along and he talks to his mother and to his sister-in-law, and he's explaining to them, he begins to explain the philosophy of the soul to them. So although Hiranyaksha is a demon, that he also has knowledge about the soul. Now this is an interesting point to understand, that even though someone may be a demon and may be against the devotion to the Lord, they also can understand the nature of the soul and how the nature of the material world is that we live in a material body, and this material body is temporary. Just like we're having programs here in this building today, but in the future there's a plan to move, right, to another building. It's not eternal, that we will stay. So similarly, the soul is in one body, and we know we won't remain forever in this body. So Hiranyakashipu, he has to pacify his mother and his brother's wife, and he does it in a very nice way. He narrates some history from the scriptures, and he tells how formerly there was a great king who was killed in battle, and when the king died in battle, then all of his kinsmen were lamenting the death of their king. Not only the kinsmen, but the wives of the king also came, and when they saw their husband dead, they also lamented for their husband. And it came time to perform the cremation of the body. But they were so attached to the body of their husband, they didn't want the body to go. They didn't want them to take the body to the cremation, for the cremation. They were lamenting that our dear husband, please don't leave us. Of course, the king was already dead, but they were so attached to the material body. So what happened was the queens were so attached, and the time for the cremation was coming. Lord Yamaraj heard the cries, and Lord Yamaraj, the god of death, he disguised himself as a young boy, and he came there, and he began to speak to the queens. He took the form of a young boy because children are very pleasing by nature. People like to see little children, and especially if the little child will speak philosophy, then we think, oh, so nice, so meaningful. People are more inclined to hear from children. So Yamaraj took the form of the young boy and came there and spoke to the queens about how their husband had gone. And he told these queens that you don't know who your husband really was. You're only seeing the body. And that body of the man who was your husband, that body's still there. But your husband is gone. You never really knew who your husband was. You were simply seeing him as the body. This is the fallen condition of materialistic people. We identify with the body. We think of ourselves in terms of the material body. So Yamaraj explained like this to these queens, and he told them that your husband is now gone. The man you only know his body, and that body is still there. So why are you lamenting? So in this way Yamaraj wants to enlighten these ladies so that the body of the king can be cremated. So he went on and he told them another history. He told them about how there were two Kalinga birds, one male, one female, and they were feeding their young birds. They had a nest and the young birds were there, and they were both the birds were busy bringing food to feed their young chicks in the nest. But it happened there was one hunter, and this hunter had some evil intentions. This hunter wanted, he had a trap, and the female Kalinga bird carelessly got caught in the trap of the hunter. And when the male bird saw the condition of the female bird, then the male bird began to lament that, oh, my poor wife, you're stuck in this trap. Now your life is finished. How will we ever get free? And our children are waiting for us to come back to feed them. And in this way, the male bird was lamenting for the female bird. And the hunter took the opportunity to kill the male bird, because the male bird was lamenting so grievously. He was not aware of his own situation. He was not aware that he's also going to die at some point, and he has to take care of his own existence. So Hiranyakashipu, although he was a demon, he was explaining this kind of truths to his mother and to his brother's wife. And hearing this kind of knowledge from Hiranyakashipu, it pacified the mind of the mother and the wife, and they were able to go on and continue taking care of their own situation which we all have to think about, that we're all here in this material world, and we all have a temporary body, and we know that this body is just simply the dress of the self, as it described in Bhagavad Gita. Vachamsi varnani yatha vihaya navani grinati naroparani tata sharirani vihaya jannani anyani samyati navani dehi. That just as we put on garments and then we change and put on new garments, we give up the old garments, we put on new garments, in the same way we take one body, and in course of time we give up that one body and take another body. So this is the facts of life. But generally conditioned souls are forgetful of this fact. They don't think about what is the real business in human life. And the real business in human life is self-realization. We have to understand our actual identity as spiritual beings. So this is very important for us to understand, that we're here in this material world and we have a temporary body. We have to make use of this body, however, to cultivate higher knowledge, and ultimately we want to free ourselves from this material body. So, the 7th canto Srimad Bhagavatam narrates the pastimes of Hiranyakashipu and how Hiranyakashipu is inimical to his son Prahlada, how he is very envious, very angry about the condition of his own son. Because Hiranyakashipu, he wanted that his son should be like him. We say like father, like son. You know, father would like the son. Son should be like me, you know. One man told me his father was not pleased with him because he would not go with him to drink. This was a situation, material world, not uncommon. Anyway, Hiranyakashipu similarly was not happy with Prahlada because his son had become devotee. Now Hiranyakashipu had tried to educate his son to be a good demon, to cultivate the mode of the demon. And the mode of the demon is to distinguish friend and enemy. We were talking how the Lord, he sees everyone equally. No one is a friend, no one is an enemy. Everyone benefits from him. But the demons, they make distinction. Friend, enemy. Whoever is my enemy, we have to deal with them. And how will you deal with them? Well, just like in politics, you know, if you're in politics, there is the one party and the other party, and there are always some fighting going on, and they will try different means, try to give advice. You should do what I say. If you don't do what I say, then, you know, I have to warn you of the consequences. I will punish you, and like this. And then, if advice is not enough, then you may take action against them, the enemy. You want to act against them and arrange for them to be restricted. Just like sometimes those who are the enemy, they will be put into prison or something like that. Some kind of restrictions will be put on them so that they cannot continue their activities. And so that's the business of the demons. Politics, dealing with the enemy. Prahlada, as a devotee, he would tell his father, "Oh, Father, don't make these kind of distinctions. See everyone the same. Everyone. Don't make this friend, enemy. We should see everyone equally." We know Bhagavad Gita also speaks about the vision of the Paramatma. Vijavdinaya sampani brahmani gavihastani suni chaiva swapakecha sama pandita darshana. So this is Paramatma vision. Prahlada was encouraging his father, but his father, Hiranyakashipu, he's a demon. He makes distinction, and he wanted Prahlada also to be like him. He'd put him in the Gurukula, not the Gurukula which we know, but the Gurukula of the demons. Shukracharya's sons, Sanda and Namarka, are there, and they're teaching the demon philosophy, how to deal with the enemy, right? The stick is there. If you don't do what I say, stick is there, we'll beat you, right? This kind of dealing. So Prahlad was there in the Gurukula, but Prahlad is not interested in this kind of teaching. Prahlad was not much interested even in the things which the other boys were doing. The other children, children like to play balls, football, cricket, this game, that game. But Prahlad was not playing with the other children. And the boys were surprised that, Prahlad, why don't you play with us? Prahlad, you should also come and, but Prahlad then explained to them, you can read in Srimad Bhagavatam, Prahlad teaching to his school friends. And he begins by telling his school friends, Komar apcharat pratno dharmam bhagavatamiha. Right? Kumar, from the beginning of life. When you're a young boy, you should begin to learn Bhagavad Dharma. It's important to get that good start in life. Then it is so much easier. People can also become devotees later in life, but it's not such an easy thing. If one is fortunate and he gets a good birth in the family of devotees, then from the beginning he can cultivate this Bhagavad Dharma. Because it's human life which is very special. And the human life on this earthly planet is an ideal situation for cultivating Krishna consciousness and getting out from the material world. So Prahlad is a young boy, he's telling all of the other friends that, we spent so many years playing games with balls. How long do you play football for? The footballers, they play 35 or the very old, right? If you're 35 and nobody's 40 nowadays on the football field, you're too old. So anyway, young boys, they play football, cricket and basketball. It depends which country you're in. If you're a big tall guy, now you could play basketball. Different people, different balls. They waste their time in these kind of pursuits, passing the life. We spend so much time growing up, and then, of course, in old age and invalidity, and then also there are problems. Old age and invalidity, you cannot hear very well, you cannot see clearly, very difficult to do anything. So many years are spent playing games, and then so many years in old age and invalidity. The middle part of the life is all spent working from morning till night, working long hours. How you all know that song, Bacha Hare Mana Sita Atapat Bata Varesana Edina Jamini Jagire Bipali Sevino Kripana Durajana Chapala Sukalaba Lagare. Right? But we tolerate so many difficult conditions, the scorching heat. You don't have torrents of rain here, but you do have the scorching heat, right? You have to tolerate, still you have to work. You have to go and you work for people who are often wicked and miserly people. And we're working, why? Chapala sukha, for some flickering happiness, which we will get. Maybe every year you can have some break. You can go back for a month to India and you can relax a little. But then you come back again and back to work. And like this, we pass the life. The whole life is spent in this way. Where is the time for self-realization? So Prahlada Maharaj, Prahlada as a young boy, he didn't get involved in all these things. He wouldn't play with the other children. Rather, he instructed them about how they have a duty to understand the value of human life and to think about the future. Just like we often think about the future. You encourage the children, oh, work hard, think about the future, you want to get a good job, study nicely, get a good degree, you can get a better job. But we don't just only should think about the future in this life, we should think about the next life also. Where are we going from here? We have to think about the next life. And Sukadeva Goswami, when he was approached by Maharaj Parikshit, Maharaj Parikshit wanted to know, what is the duty of one who is about to die? Now Maharaj Parikshit, he was about to die, he had been cursed. But he also asked, what is the duty of all people at all time? Because at any moment we may die. We do not know when death will come. Are we ready? Are you ready to leave this body? If we have we don't know. We had earthquakes in Myanmar. They just had earthquakes there. And there's wars going on. Another war, India, Pakistan. People are dying all the time. Are we ready to give up this body? We have to be ready. Maharaj Kulashekar said, Krishna Tradiya Pada Pankaja Panjarantam, right? Kulashekar Maharaj is our famous teacher. He said, let me die now while I can still chant the holy name. Because if we wait for death to come naturally, then my mouth may be choked up. I won't be able to chant with such feeling. So let me die now while the swan of my mind is entangled in the lotus feet of Lord Krishna. Kulashekar was a great devotee of Lord Rama, but still that verse is about Lord Krishna. So very important teachings are there for us to understand the value of the human form of life and to make the best use of this life. So Prahlada has that consciousness. He had that opportunity. And of course this was one of the things which puzzled his father, because his father had taken so much care to protect him from the association of devotees. One of my godbrothers is a devotee called Subhag Swami. I don't know, do you know Subhag Swami? Does he come here? Okay, he's a Bengali, and he joined in London, actually. What happened was, when he was growing up in Calcutta, and his parents saw that he's always going to sadhus. He's always associating with these sadhus. So they thought, we'll send him to England get him away from all of this. So they sent him to England, and he was in England, in London, and he met Hare Krishna devotees. And he became Hare Krishna. So, you can see God has his ways of bringing us to Krishna consciousness. So, very nice. So, similar, Hiranyakashipu wanted to protect his son from the association of devotees. Association is such a powerful thing. Very, very important that you have to get regular association. And we reflect the qualities of the people we associate with. That is the nature of association. You associate with drunkards, you become a drunkard. And if you associate with the devotees, naturally we will develop the devotional characters. So Prahlada, his father had arranged he'd be in the Gurukula of the demons. Not a Gurukula as we know Gurukulas in Krishna consciousness, but the Gurukula of the demons. All the children of the demons were there, and Prahlada was to be with them. But Prahlada was careful. He didn't associate with them. Although they were all in the same school, he wouldn't play with them. He didn't get involved with them. Just like Chaitanya Mahaprabhu took sannyas, and he was in Benares. He went to Benares, and in Benares, so many Mayavadi sannyasis are there. Now, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu had taken sannyas in the line of Shankaracharya, but he did not associate with them. He did not associate with the Mayavadi sannyasis. He would simply chant Hare Krishna on his own. He would go in the streets of Benares chanting the holy name. And the other Mayavadi sannyasis, they were criticizing him, that he's sannyasi, he should be studying Vedanta. Why are you not studying Vedanta? Mahaprabhu said, he had said, my spiritual master said I am a foolish person and I should only chant Hare Krishna. But of course Mahaprabhu also knew Vedanta. And when the opportunity arose, Mahaprabhu explained the Vedanta to Prakashananda Saraswati. It happened that the arrangement was made. Mahaprabhu was invited to a program with the Mayavadi sannyasis. Usually he would not go. But this particular time he decided to go, and he took the opportunity to meet them. First of all, he went to the home where the program was, and he sat in the doorway where people washed their feet, and he exhibited a brilliant effulgence. Prakashananda Saraswati, the leader of the Mayavadi sannyasis, they saw the effulgence of Mahaprabhu, and they were impressed. They thought, oh, he's already achieved Sayuja Mukti. They thought they thought like that. They thought this is somebody who's already got liberation. And so Prakashananda personally came and brought in Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And because Prakashananda Saraswati showed some piety and respect for Mahaprabhu, he got Agyata Sukriti. And Mahaprabhu came, and then they discussed Vedanta. Prakashananda wanted to know why you don't associate with us. And Mahaprabhu said, my Guru Maharaj told me I should only chant Hare Krishna and I cannot understand Vedanta. And then they discussed more. Mahaprabhu explained the real philosophy behind Vedanta, and he explained the importance of chanting the holy name, and that chanting the holy name is the essence of Vedanta. And all the Mayavadi sannyasis, they all agreed, and they all chanted the holy name, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
And Mahaprabhu, when he heard them all chanting the holy name, he understood, now they have become Vaishnavas. And Mahaprabhu even took prasad with them. Usually he would never take prasad even with them. But once they chanted Hare Krishna mantra, now they are Vaishnavas, and he took prasadam with them. So this was how Mahaprabhu associated very carefully with people. And we're also taught by Rupa Goswami, very important, association with devotees and give up the association of non-devotees. And Mahaprabhu was asked also how to recognize a Vaishnava, and he replied, Asat dharmatyag e Vaishnav achar, Stri Sangha eka sadhu Krishna bhakti ar. Asat, we give up the asatyag, we give up the association of the material. That is a devotee, the sign of a devotee. So Prahlada was showing this in his behavior, and it puzzled the students, his friends, and it really angered his father, because his father wanted so much that his son should be a demon. He should be a good materialist. People, often devotees even, we talk about devotional service, but we're often mixed devotees. Our mode of devotion is mixed with fruitive desires and philosophical speculation. Younger people practice devotion with a lot of fruitive desires. They would like, money or fame, some kind of success in the material world, as well as devotion. And as we get older, we think more about getting out of the material world. We're more interested in liberation. And we're thinking, oh Krishna, take me out of here, take me back to Godhead, right? We want to get liberation, want to get free. But actually devotion means anyabilasita sanyam jnana karma janavritam anukuyena krishnanu shilanam bhaktir uttamam. Real devotion should not be mixed with desires for material enjoyment or for liberation. Real devotion is performed simply for the pleasure of Lord Krishna. Anukuyena Krishnanu Shilanam. We simply want to please Krishna. What Srimad Bhagavatam is, ahaitaki apratihata yayatma suprasidati. Ahaitaki, unmotivated, apratihata, uninterrupted, continuous devotion. That is the mode of pure devotion. We want to try to come to that higher level of devotion in our attempts to practice bhakti yoga. So hearing about Prahlada Maharaj is very inspirational for us. We want to understand Prahlada's teachings, and in the next few days we'll have the opportunity to speak more about Prahlada Maharaj's teachings. and the prayers which he offers to Lord Nrsimha. So we will ask, is there any questions here tonight? Anyone? Anyone has any question or comment? So many people are here. Yes, Prabhu, please.
Maharaj, you were mentioning about the teachings of, the so-called teachings of Hiranyakashipu. So we always say that we need to listen from the bona fide parampara. But what is the effect of Hiranyakashipu's teaching to his family?
Well, what was he teaching? What he was teaching was certainly valid. He was teaching about the nature of the eternal soul and the distinction between the soul and the body. So that knowledge is important. It's not that because he's a demon that everything he says is wrong, but we have to hear what he's talking about. So he was speaking philosophically. Although he is a demon and he is inimical, he's against the Supreme Lord, he does still accept the nature of the soul and the identity of the individual as a spiritual being. He understood that life is not finished with the body. Now Srila Prabhupada went to Russia 1971, and he met with the professor of Asian studies there at the University of Moscow. And that Prabhupada was explaining to him how at the time of death we give up the body and the soul leaves and we'll take another body. But the professor said to Prabhupada, "Oh Swamiji, at the time of death everything is finished." So for those who are grossly atheistic, they think that with death, that is the end of everything. They do not have any information of the soul. So it's a very important point which Hiranyakashipu is making. And that's why it's mentioned in the Srimad Bhagavatam. Srila Vyasadeva has included it in the words of the Srimad Bhagavatam. He's presenting these philosophical teachings, how Hiranyakashipu was able to console the lamenting relatives of Hiranyaksha. Now often in our own preaching we have to console people because death is happening regularly. We never know who is next. We're all waiting in line, right? Sometime we have to go. So when people depart from the world, it is painful. We feel the loss of people we loved. Ramananda Rai was discussing with Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Mahaprabhu asked Ramananda Rai, "What is the most painful thing?" And Ramananda Rai replied that apart from nothing is more painful than losing the association of the devotees who we love. It's the most painful thing. So this, when we have this experience, when we're placed in this situation, all of us, of course, we will experience, and we have experienced these things. We have to know how to pacify the mind. And by hearing, you can read this section in the Srimad Bhagavatam, how Hiranyakashipu pacifies the mind of his mother and his brother's wife. So it's very instructive for us, because as devotees we have this duty to perform, and we often have to go in and counsel people and comfort them and guide them through these difficult situations, sudden departures of the soul, sudden departures from this world. It's very painful. People lose someone who they love very much, who they're very attached to. They depart from the world, and it's very painful. And we need to hear spiritual knowledge. It helps us to overcome these difficulties. And it's our duty as devotees to do this kind of service for society, whoever they are, whether they're devotees or not. It's our duty to explain to them about the spiritual nature and how the soul is gone. Na jayate mriyate vakadachin nayam bhutva bhavitavan bhu. For the soul there is no birth and there is no death. Having once been, he does not cease to be. He is unborn, eternal, ever-existing and primeval. He is not slain when the body is slain. And so all over the world, people are lamenting when there is death, and they don't know how to deal with it. Sometimes people lament for years the loss of their loved ones. There was one elderly couple, and when one of them departed from the world, the other one wanted to take the dead body with them in the car and drive them around. That they always liked to go and visit the beautiful places in the countryside. I just want to take them around one more time. They're already dead. But people are so much attached to the body. So this ignorant condition is very prominent around the world. And we need to share this kind of knowledge with people to help them to come out of that ignorance. So this is our part of our service for society, to help people overcome the difficulties in life, which are there for everyone. Right? We're Vaishnavas. Vaishnavas are paradukha dukhi. They're unhappy to see the suffering of others. And it's our duty to try to deliver them by giving spiritual knowledge. Now Hiranyakashipu, he's not a devotee, but he has this knowledge. He knows. He at least knows about the soul. And he's using that knowledge. He explains so nicely. Please read that section in the Srimad Bhagavatam, 7th canto, 2nd chapter. Hiranyakashipu pacifying his mother and brother's wife. Okay.
Thank you, Maharaj. Hare Krishna. So can you imagine how fortunate we are here now, having the association of Maharaj His Holiness Bhakti Vighna Vinasa Nrsimha Maharaj, the disciple of Srila Prabhupada, His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada, during Nrsimha Chaturdashi time. Very well. So please, the request is that kindly utilize this opportunity. Please come every day. We are going to have the program continuously and special class on Nrsimha Chaturdashi day as well. Maharaj will be taking class every day here in ISKCON Bharan Temple till Monday, and Tuesday and Wednesday Maharaj will be giving class in Kanu Garden Temple. Hare Krishna. So we'd like to thank Maharaj by chanting all of us one time Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. So